Folks, this live stream is brought to you by my sponsor AAA FX. Now, they're a fully regulated broker in Europe and South Africa, offering Forex indices, commodities, crypto, and over 100 stocks. Now, at AAA FX, you pay no commission on any Forex pair using their ECN Plus account and low commissions on cryptos and stocks. Plus, you can deposit with cash or crypto, get a free VPS with deposits over 5K, and easily integrate the well-known copy trade service Zulu Trade. While you're waiting for the stream to start, go and check them out by clicking the link in the description, comments, or visit AAAFX.com.
Alright guys, what is up? Welcome. How is everyone doing this afternoon? It is 7 p.m. September 6th, 2022. We're going to be talking tonight about entries. We're going to be taking a look at a few different setups, a few scenarios. Some trades lost, some trades won. We're going to be, really trying to enjoy ourselves tonight with the entries, right? Now, I have a concept that I want to talk about tonight, and it's an interesting concept. I would say it's controversial, but we'll see. All right. Yeah. So we'll get straight into it. So I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna go into the charts and see what is going on. Let me see here. All right. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Just put in the chat for me, yes or no. Thank you very much, my brother. Can you see the screen? Can you guys see what I'm showing you here? Yeah, no, yeah. Don't want to move on until I know for sure you'll see it. Nice, very good. So, I took a loss earlier this week on AED card. This is exactly what I had. All right, we're gonna go over some of the other analysis that I would have had last week and stuff, but this is a trade that I took last night or night before. Oh yeah, it's a Sunday night, right? And basically, let me explain myself here very briefly. On the daily time frame, AED card is bearish, right? As you know, some of you may know, if it is you're now joining for the first time, never heard me teach before or heard about me or whatever, I trade momentum, right? So in order for me to find a trade that I deem fit for my liking, I need momentum in order for me to capture that opportunity, right? And what that really means is I need to make sure that the market is going where, I want it to go before I even consider entering, right? Now, that being said, on the daily time frame, AUD card is definitely bearish, showing signs of bullish rejection and bearish momentum. On the 50-minute time frame, so this would have been market open on Sunday, Asian session. And it again, you can see here that it's definitely, again, very much bearish with a little bull move, but nothing too significant. I had this area that I was interested in on, right? I was interested in this area to see what the market can do in, on, and around this area. All right. Now, interestingly enough, the market also opened with a gap. Gap is essentially the market's way of telling you or showing you that it doesn't stop moving over the weekend. Contrary to what you may think, the market never stops. We are just not allowed to actually engage with it over the course of the weekend. But that gap is the market moving over the weekend. So let's just say the market closed right here on Friday and it opened here on Sunday. It is because the move would have been something in this area. That's what makes the gap, right? Now, that being said, there would be liquidity within the gap, which is why typically you would hear people say that price is going to fill the gap because there's liquidity in the gap, right? Cool. Now, interestingly enough, I did end up entering on, I believe it was the 1 minute time frame. and I'll show you here. Yes, I believe it was the 1 minute time frame. Yes, it was. So what I was looking at is I entered somewhere around here, and the reason for that, that would have been, if I'm not mistaken, that would have been this candle here. No, look at it, right here. All right, and this was my entry here. Right, cool. So interestingly enough, the reasoning for this is, again, price came up into this zone, this liquidity zone. Now, granted, it did break above it, but I'm looking at, and if I go back to the 15-minute time frame, I'll show you that in a little while. I was looking at the fact that AUD card was very much bearish, right? And there was a lot of liquidity even past this zone. And I did sell it off of this candle, and I will explain this later in this session. So you definitely want to stay here to understand what is the reason to sell. But I sold it here, and it did come and take me out later in the day, right? So I took a 10 pip loss on this one. The next trade I took, and we'll discuss this as well, would have been gold. I wanted USD CHF yesterday. I wanted this. This is literally what I had, where I wanted to see it come down into this area, grab, and then go. It did come down, it did grab something, and it did go, but it just never came to the area that I was interested in. It is what it is. Gold, however, did do what I was interested in, and I call this. I could listen. If it is your, I wonder why. I'll send the screenshot of it in the trading not telegram, where I was literally looking at this prior to this happening, and I sold it. All right, and I'll explain the entry on this as well. It was a little weird because of the fact that what I got in my broker and what I got on trading view were two different things, right? And that happens sometimes, as you know. But the entry candle would have been right as I saw price rejecting this area. I was like, well, yeah, absolutely. And my entry candle would have been this one here, but it was black. And I will explain that in a little bit, right? What is interesting about this gold trade with a 10 pip stop, right? With a 10 pip stop, this trade is floating currently at 236 pips of profit, right? Listen to me, 236 pips of profit, which gives me a risk reward ratio of 1 to 23, give or take, right? Just let that sink in. 1 to 23. And I have no intention of closing it. My stop loss is literally where this red line is, making it such that if I should lose this trade, or if it should come back, I should say, it's going to take me out of 160 pips, which is a 1 to 16. Boo-hoo, right? Now, interestingly enough, I did say I do believe that it's going to come all the way back down here because there's liquidity down here. We'll cover all of that just now. But what I really want to talk about now is a concept that is a very controversial topic, I should say, right? It's a controversial topic. We all know about the transgender community and the LGBT community and all of that. Full respect to all of them, right? But let me explain something here. Transgender is when somebody is born a man and they wish to identify as a woman, or they born a woman and they wish to identify as a man, right? Or they maybe even change their reproductive organs to match that what they want to identify as. What if I told you that there are candles that are trans candles? Let me repeat that. What if I told you there are candles that are trans candles? There's a candle, or it's not any specific candle, but you can actually kind of get a. You ever talking to somebody and you can kind of get an idea that, something in 200 with them, maybe something's up, maybe they are part of the that movement. Full power to you, full respect to you. But here's the interesting thing: you can know when a candle is a trans candle, right? And what I mean by that is, you can know when a candle is not doing the thing that it says that it's doing, right? So sometimes you might find that a candle is bullish. It looks bullish, but it's actually trying to identify as a bearish candle. Anybody ever seen something like that before? So what it means is You can have candles that close bullish, but are actually bearish by nature. And you know something? These are the best potential candles to enter your trade zone. You can have a bearish candle that closed bearish, but it's bullish by nature. How do you know this? You can literally look at what the candle is doing and you'll get a general idea as to what I'm seeing. So let me see if I can find a few examples to show you. First things first, this one is one of those such examples. Now, you know that gold is going up, 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 up. Let me use the replay function here to show you. Right? Gold is going up, 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 right? Cool. All of this bull momentum, and they are big bull candles. Now, I want you to make a comparison here, right? Look at the size of these candles and look at the size of their wicks to both directions in comparison. And then weigh that against this one candle. All of these candles are bullish. Even this one, it closed bullish. But one or two of them are actually bearish by nature. This one and this one. Why are they bearish by nature? Because at one point, this candle was a big black candle, or it was a big bullish candle. Does everybody agree with that? At one point, this specific candle was all the way up here and it was bullish. Do you all agree with that? Is everybody with me so far? Yes, no, quickly. I just want to make sure that I'm not losing anybody. Anybody? No? Yes? I realize the comments take a little while to come in here. But here's the interesting thing. Because you see that price at some point was up here and it proceeded to come all the way back down. Listen, it could have never gotten there, no? Meaning, you could have had the candle literally just stop here and never produce a wick. In that case, it's still a very, very bullish candle. But in this case, it did go further, but then it came all the way back. Why? What is the significance of this candle coming back so hard? You know what is the significance of it? It's actually very simple. The sellers are coming in to push price back down. Now, remember that this candle is a part of a bigger picture on a higher time frame, and it's the biggest picture on a lower time frame. So if I go to the 1 hour per se, it's a completely different candle. All right. Now this you would say is a very bullish candle. But if I were to say go to the 5 minute, we're now starting to see a different thing. We're now starting to see where the candle is even smaller than before. And now a red candle is coming in, telling me that bears, after all of this bull momentum, I mean, if you look at this candle, this red candle in relation to the others, it's telling me that bears could be potentially coming in. Let's go to the 1 minute now and look at the difference. Now you're actively seeing where bears are coming in and genuinely trying to push price back down. Do you all see that? Now, this move on the 1 minute time frame would not be a trans candle because it's obviously multiple candles. But this candle on my broker was black, but it was just like this, but it was black. That's a trans candle. That's a candle that is trying to identify as something other than what it says it is. Full power to you. Full power to you if it is you. Listen, full respect, no disrespect. You know, it is what it is, right? If that's what you want or like or whatever, then full power to you. All respects to you. But I want you to understand that it is about how you identify and how, and I'm using this specifically, how you identify with the world. These candles are actually trying to identify with the world in a way that is not what they are showing. So if you can understand when a candle is painting itself to be something that it's not, that's a sign that the market is most likely not telling you the truth. And if you pay attention, again, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to forward it here now into the trading nut channel, right? I'm going to forward it literally into the trading nut channel, right? To my live stream talking about this now, right? Now, interestingly enough, when I said that, I wanted to see how price reacted. And again, you can go in that trading nut channel. If you're not on the Telegram channel on trading nut, you can go join it, right? As per what I said I would have liked to see how price reacted to this area. What is my reasoning for that? Because price has reacted to this area multiple times before, which tells me that there's liquidity in this area. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm performing my analysis backwards so that you can understand the thought process, right? In actuality, you want to make sure you understand the direction first, find the liquidity, and then find the entry. But what I'm showing you here now is I'm showing you the entry, then showing you the liquidity, and then I'm going to show you obviously the direction, which in this case is obviously bears. It's obviously sells, right? Nothing about gold as of present tells me it wants to buy. So realistically, this year I wanted to see how price reacted to this area, right? And by looking at how this candle formed, what this did is it told me that the dealer is actually trying to have sellers come in and push price back down. Now I see somebody ask a question here. Erod asks, why don't you use the 4 hour and daily zoom out? You don't need to. You can listen. All you need to understand when it comes to your analysis, the only thing you need to understand is bigger picture is for direction and smaller picture is for entries. So if you go on the daily, you can zoom out all the way, But here's the interesting thing: by zooming out all the way, you can. I mean, one, obviously, you'll have to wait a lot longer to get your buyers because gold is overall bullish. But as we would know from March 2022, gold has been bearish. So I'm literally just looking at this price action right here until gold shows me a sign that it wants to reverse. And I'll talk about this very briefly. Until it shows me a sign that it wants to reverse, I'm going to continue to look for sells. Now, here's the interesting thing: since gold created this low here, the only place I think gold can reverse off of properly would be this area. Because if it does not take out traders below this area, theoretically, what that means is anybody who bought here would be allowed to stay in their position at a really good price. And the dealer doesn't want you to get into the trade at a good price. You understand? So that's something that you really have to take into consideration. You're hearing me, right? You're hearing me fine?
Can you all hear me better now? Is it better? Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Better? Yes? My apologies. So yeah, so basically what I really want you to understand is the whole idea behind the higher time frame is not because I'm looking for support and resistance and this and that and the other end. What I am actually looking for is to try to really get a good understanding of where the market is going or where it might try to go, right? Because we don't know what it's going to do, but where it might try to go or where it might try to get to and how. So higher time frame for sure, in my opinion, from since March this year has been bearish, right? For sure, it's been bearish. Now, if we come down to the 15, we know that this, well, let me just say we know, I am anticipating that there's a liquidity in this area. So cool. If there's liquidity in this area, then no problem. Now, I got my analysis wrong for NFP. I was thinking that gold would come up to this area, spike it, and then drop it, right? And it did actually kind of do that, but it never dropped it. You see the spike of this very area here, but it continued to move up for the simple reason, very, very simple reason, because this area did not have enough liquidity in order for it to actually use it and then go down. So it did do what I kind of wanted it to do, which is come up, spike the area, and then drop, but it just never dropped. So that being said, if I know, or let me just say I know, if I'm anticipating that it did not gather the liquidity from this area to drop, then it needs to go higher to get more liquidity. Now, in the case of a sell, if a market is overall bearish, in my opinion, the best thing you could do, is treat every single time the market is buying in a bear momentum asset or in an asset that's in bearish momentum, treat the market that every time it's in bull momentum, treat that as an induction. It's literally trying to gather liquidity to drop, right? And by doing that, you get rid of half of the problem. Literally half of the problem goes out the window when it is you're only focusing on one side of the picture. If it is you're only looking for sells, you don't need to worry about buying here, buying there. We've all been there. We've all seen that one person, right? That one person or that one trader, maybe, right? Where you would see their history and they have 7 or 8 trades in a day on gold, right? and it sells, buys, sells, sells, buys, sells, buys, sells, buys. The question that you have to ask yourself is, if they're not scalping, why are they changing their buyers so much? Unless you're scalping gold, right? Meaning you're literally looking at these small moves, 3 pips, 4 pips, whatever here in between. Unless you're doing that, you should literally only be looking at one specific direction, because the market is really only going to be going in one specific direction, and that's when you want to get in. So in my opinion, if you can understand when the market is going in that specific direction, right, and you can understand where the liquidity is, guess what? It's just about finding the entry after the fact. So let's now look at a few of the other analysis that I would have had to see how they would have played out, right? So we starting with, okay, so we start with ADCHF. Did I have anything on this? I don't think so. Oh, there you go. So there was a liquidity here. I didn't draw anything, but again, there you go. Did I have anything on AJ? No, I did not. I did not. Cool. Nothing on AUD Cool. AUD USD. I had this. This is what I wanted to see, right? What I really, oh, so this would have been last week, right? Let's count the days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? This would have been last week's analysis, because my what you call it? My session would have been right around here. I said that I wanted to see AUD USD come up, grab some liquidity, and then drop. Go back and look at my last live stream if you don't believe that. And then I said it was having problems breaking this area, which means it could be liquidity in this area. So I would like to see price come up again, grab, and then drop. It did go up. It just didn't go up as far as I wanted it to go, but it did indeed drop. All right, cool, no problem. CAD would be the next one. Oh, wow. So I wish I had my student with me here. I really wish I did. I was doing a class with a student last night, right? And I was teaching her about liquidity zones and momentum and stuff. And this is literally what I had last night, right? I will literally message her and have her, like, literally just be honest, right? And have her tell you that this is exactly what I drew last night, where I am anticipating CAD because it is overall bullish. So it's overall bullish. I'm using the momentum in my favor. I come down to the 50-minute time frame. It's also very much bullish. So now I just need to figure out where the liquidity might be. So you want to see price bounce off of this area, break it completely, come back a little bit, grab some from this area, and then continue again with the buy, right? This was beautifully done. Absolutely beautifully done. CADJPY, did I have anything? Oh, right. So I was looking. So again, you realize I do not get the direction wrong very often. Very rare I would get the direction wrong. Is it that I'm a guru? Is it that I'm a prophet or an oracle or a psychic? No. It's just about understanding what the market is generally doing. And sometimes it's gonna happen like that. Sometimes you're gonna realize that the market it just wants to continue. You have to remember something too. It takes energy to shift the direction of the market. So if the market did not stop hunt or really spike a certain area to grab liquidity from a certain area, it's very unlikely that it is going to reverse. So by treating the market like it's almost always going to continue, you get rid of half of the problem. You understand? Get rid of half the problem. So, interestingly enough, CADJPY overall, again, simple. I keep it simple. Overall bullish, right? We come down on the 50-minute time frame. Beautifully done. What I wanted to see was it to come down in this area, grab some liquidity, and then go up. It never grabbed the liquidity, but again, the direction was absolutely correct. So, cool. I missed it because it never presented the opportunity that I wanted, but I was right about it, and that's fine enough for me, right? CHFJPY, I'm not seeing anything on this. I don't think I had anything on this. Euro AUD. Okay, I got this one wrong. Yeah, I would say I got this one wrong. I wanted to see it go up, spike, and then drop. We'll take that. I'll take that as an L. Not trying to, show you here that, oh, well, I'm trying to make an excuse. No, I got it wrong. It is what it is. Beautifully, and interestingly enough, though, because it never did what I wanted it to do, I never got the opportunity to take an entry. So I could be wrong about it and nothing would happen, because a missed trade is better than a lost trade. Very important, right? EuroCAD. Did I have anything on this? I do not remember. No, I don't think so. Euro CHF. Don't think I had anything on this either. Euro GBP. All right, so this is what I had earlier this week. Wanted to see price come into this area and then spike down and then reject and then go back up. I would say that it just fell a little short of doing exactly that, but it is what it is. You know, you're gonna get that sometimes. EJ. Now, this is another beautiful one, right? EJ, this is a trade that another student, a different student took today. I didn't take this. This is just me trying to show you. Now, let me explain this as well, right? So, overall on EJ, EJ is bullish, right? I'll just ignore this. EJ is bullish, right? Now, you can see that. Ray Charles could see that, and he can't see. Now, interestingly enough, as you can come to the 50-minute time frame, you'll also realize that EJ was also very much bullish. So you have, this is what I had. I wanted to see price dip, grab some liquidity from here, and then continue to climb. It broke below it, but I got the direction right. Interestingly enough, one of my students, I had a session with her last week, and I was teaching her about liquidity zones. And she literally saw this today. And the zone that she was looking at would have been this one. Beautiful, beautiful zone. Why do I consider this a zone? Because price has been in this area multiple times, meaning there's a lot of people entering, trading, getting stopped out, entering more trades, hitting stop losses, take profits, all of that. All of that is happening right here, which means that there's very likely to be liquidity in this area. And she took that trade right there with a 10 pip stop loss. And as you can see, is a literal person. I think this is a personal best, as she told me today. Right? That's correct. You know her very well. Rivka mashing it up in the place with EG. Right? Mashing it up in the place. This is a 1 to 13. This is what? 1 to 39? 1 to 33. That's insane. For somebody who's still learning, that is insane, my friends. Right? Cool. So EJ, no, I didn't. That's all I had. I wanted to see it spike and then come back. It literally broke, so I never got the opportunity to take it. That's good. EN, well, some of you may know I absolutely detest this pair. I hate this pair with a passion. Reason being, I could count on one hand the amount of times EN, has actually given me, some really good opportunities. It is what it is. EU. So this is what I had for NFP for EU. I did want to see a spike of this area and then a drop. It did indeed spike something and then drop, but I would have gotten it wrong. It is what it is. As of right now, I'm not seeing anything that's interesting to me on EU. I'll just leave it alone. GA, this is what I had. I wanted to see it spike and then drop. It never did that. Cool. It is what it is. GCAD. Somebody in the Trading Nut Telegram literally had this study, right? They had this, and they said that they wanted to see price come back up to this area, right? Go back, listen, don't take my word for it. Go back in the Trading Nut channel and look at what that person said. They said that they wanted to see price come up to this area and then drop. Now, my reasoning for thinking that GCAD would not come up to this area is because price has been in and around this area multiple times. So you know that this is a liquidity. And interestingly enough, as you see here, it did spike it and grab it and then dropped. So why would it go back there again to release traders who did enter for a buy here, not a sell, a buy? Because anybody who bought here thinking that it's going to break out, if you don't have a stop loss, you'll be in drawdown. Why would the market go back up here to release buyers? It doesn't make sense to me. So what I think could actually happen on GCAD is it drop, come back for a little bit more liquidity, and then drop even further. Because if you look at GCAD overall, I think you can conclude it's bearish. So it makes sense that it is going to continue to sell. You understand? We don't know if it's going to happen. We don't know. But it makes sense. Now, here's one of those trans candles I was telling you about. Interesting. Because you know why? This is a bull candle, but it's actually very much bearish. Do you all see that? You all see that? This candle, think about it. Look at it properly. What about this candle tells you buy? Nothing. Nothing about this candle says buy. Everything about it's a bullish candle. And you know, typically you're taught to buy candles. So what is the actual reason for trying to buy that candle? Don't make sense. So that's what I have on GCAD. GBP CHF, I don't think I had anything here. Oh, right. There we go. I had this. I wanted to see it spike and then drop. It did spike. It did drop a little thing, but nothing significant. So it is what it is. GJ, I don't think I had anything. Yeah, I didn't have anything here. That's a zone that I was waiting to see. GN, I know I didn't have anything on this one. Right? Oh wait, I did. Right? I did. Right? But I this was not anything that I could have taken advantage of. GU, I was stopped out in profit on my GU trade on Sunday night into Monday morning. I was stopped out in profit at 266 pips. So I want you to just put this into perspective. GU took me out at 266 pips, and I am floating at 230 something right now on gold. And that is both trades occurred this week. That AUD card that I lost earlier this week, you think that 10 pips bothering me? It's not. Because that is what it's supposed to be. Your risk should be so tiny, so minimal, so minuscule, micro. And your reward's supposed to be so massive that when you lose, it shouldn't matter. One of the biggest things that I think you would learn from me is I don't care to lose, because I know it's going to happen. But what I'm telling you is when I do get a trade that goes in my favor and I am allowed to hold it for any good duration of time, 9 times out of 10 it is going to engulf all of those losses, which is how it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be able to have very tiny losses and big wins. But what most people do, they cap their wins by putting take profits that are very mediocre. They would put a take profit of 20 pips when they have a 10 pip stop loss. Or they might have a 20 pip stop loss and a 40 pip take profit. That's mediocre. Typically, a market is going to move 40 pips in a day. So you're telling me that you're okay with just 40 pips? No, if you're cool with that, then fine, But I'll tell you this. You'll never really see nice growth if it is you don't allow the trade to do what it wants to do. Who are you? And this is something that always gets me. Who are you to say that the trade won't stop at 40 pips? That's kind of arrogant if you think about it. I don't know how far the trade is going to go. So why would I cap it at 40 pips? Why would I cap it at 60 pips? What I am actually going to do is let that trade run wild. And when it decides that it's ready to take me out by virtue of the way that I trail my stop loss and how I teach people to trail your stop loss, when it decides to take me out, whatever it decides to take me out at, then fine. Another good rule of thumb is, and this is something that I do all the time, I teach this a lot, is you know that you've taken a good trade when you could capture more than 60% of the move. So let's take a look at this GU now, right? So GU ultimately went 312 pips, right? And I took 266 from that. So let's do that little math here now. 266 divided by 312, right? That's 85% of the move I captured. So I didn't capture 100% of the move, aka I did not capture 312 pips, but I captured around 85% of this trade, which is how it should be. You don't know if it's going to go 312 pips, but you know that you're trailing your stop loss actively, which is the act of trading itself. All right, you're trading, you're actively trading. A lot of people try to make this thing so automatic. They want to use this robot, they want to use this, they want to use this EA and this and that and the other. And you have the assumption, or you get the assumption that it should be automatic. Let me tell you something. You're never going to buy a robot that's going to give you the kind of returns that you want for $100. You're not going to get that, friends. I'm telling you. $100, $200, you're not getting that. The kind of returns you want is algorithm level robots, right? And yeah, there are hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions even. And even then, it's still not guaranteed because the bot is only as good as the information it's fed. But I digress. All right? So that's GU. NZD card. I don't think I had anything on this, right? Cool. I don't think I had anything on that. NZD CHF. I didn't have anything on this. NZD JPY. And don't worry, we'll do an analysis and I'll let you all. So nothing on NZD JPY. NZD USD. This is interesting. This is what I had. And I wanted to see, this would have been for NFP. I wanted to see this. And then a drop, but it actually dropped way before NFP. That should have been the sign telling me that, yeah, it's actually not going to be a sell-off for NFP. It is what it is, right? UCAD, look at what I had. So I thought that it would come down, spike to the area, and then go back up. It broke a little below the area, did come back up, but nothing significant. UCAD is interesting because there's CAD news the same time there is NFP. So it is what it is. USD CHF, I already showed you this, where we wanted to see that spike coming down into that area. And USD JPY, Jesus Christ, wow. So what I really wanted to see for UJ was it spike down into this area, grab this liquidity, and then continue with the buy. Had I been right on that, this would have been a monster trade by itself. This is a 400 pip move from that liquidity, because I did see buys off of this area, but it never got to this area to begin with. But it is what it is. And well, gold, as you know, gold is currently floating. For me, it is floating at, this gold is floating at 216 pips. Like I said, my stop loss is still at 160 pips of profit. I'm just going to leave it. Now, interesting about gold, what I think could actually happen is, I think gold could probably try to spike this area and then drop a little further, because this is the last area where gold would have, this is the last area gold would have spiked. I don't think it's going to try to break this area. So what I'm actually anticipating is maybe something like this, and then this on gold. More sells. It's not really giving me a reason to say that it should buy. So I think that this little buy here is only to induce traders to buy so that it can continue to sell. US 30. Did I have anything on this buy? I think I wanted to see a reversal, but it never could. That is what it is. NASDAQ, I think, is a twin of US 30. So we just, oh, wow. So this would have been last week. All right, cool. So it didn't quite stop at the area where I wanted it to stop, but not bad. It did actually sell off completely off of that area. And it did it again here. Wow, interesting. So you know that you have the liquidity zone right when it's doing stuff like this, when you could literally drag it out to present day and it's still coming back there. Not because it is a support, or resistance, because there's liquidity here. And that is what is very important, right? Cool. Dollar index. I'm not seeing, I didn't have anything on this. Bitcoin, I had something on this if I can remember. Aha, interesting. So on Bitcoin, let me go on the high time frame so you can see it. I did want to see a spike up, maybe to this last area here, and then a drop. It again, this is just showcasing the prowess of understanding the direction. It didn't spike as high as I wanted it to, but it did completely drop off of this area. I can't know that. Nobody could know that. But the thing about it is, you have to understand direction comes from the majority of what the market is doing. So if BTC is overall bearish from November 2021, what reason could you possibly have to try to buy it? The only thing that is going to constitute a buy is if it drops really aggressive, spikes a low, goes back up, and comes right back down to that low to spike it again, to get rid of the buyers at the first time and then go up. You typically want a move like this after a big drop. That's what you want, a W pattern. If you don't see that, trying to buy BTC, it's a fool's errand. Fool's errand, right? Ethereum had nothing on that, and that's that. So yeah, that's basically all of the pairs that I would have analyzed and all of the things that I had last week. Does anybody want me to take a look at anything in more detail? Because it's going to be a shortish one tonight. Anybody want me to take a look at anything in more detail before we close it off? Anybody? No? Yes? No? And it's ironic on this AUD card that I got it wrong in terms of it stopped me and then it went. That happens sometimes. You can get that. Can't run away from that. But if I was right, I would have probably made, let's just say, I would have probably made on this trade, there's another 80 pips. So, yeah. Too late to enter for what? What are we talking about, Ken? Is it gold are we talking about, or AUD card? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? All right, so oil. Oh, I didn't do oil. Oil, US oil. All right. So oil, so I'm teaching you what I would do now. So oil overall is bullish, but I would say for the majority of this year not the majority of this year. This is a little problematic because June, July, August, September, that's only about 4 months, right? It's been bearish. Now it's very bearish, right? It's very bearish, but oil is actually overall bullish. So this is a little problematic because it's not a lot of time where it's telling me a lot of giving me a lot of information. So let me come down again and see. It's been bearish again, even on the 4 hour. It still looks very bearish. And if I had to say, I would say liquidity is in this area here. So I would say that. Notice I'm not putting the zone on the lower. I'm putting the zone where price is passing through, in between, up, down, all around, in, out, all about. Right, I'll come down to the 1 minute. I mean the 1 hour, sorry. Right, so it's underneath the zone. Right, cool, that's not bad. Let me come down again. Not bad. And then again. Now, what I would like to see on oil, I think in order for it to sell off harder, I think it needs to come back up for something. And I would use maybe this area here. This is where I would use. And the reasoning for that is, again, this is the last major area I think oil has been to capture any liquidity. So I would say I'm expecting a move maybe like this and then that. That's what I'm thinking. I don't think that it's going to just sell off from right here. If it does, then that's good. But I think that if you can see it run up into this area and reject this area with that trans candle that I was telling you about, if you can see that, I think oil is a pretty safe sell, at least for now. Right? No, I can't see a trading view link. So, all right. So we come back to that. Oil, I did that. Gold in detail. But I just did gold. I literally just came off of gold. I think that gold, might spike this area, maybe induce traders to buy off of this area. Buy here. Because again, it actually kind of looks like it's a support here as well. So they might buy into this area thinking that it's going to continue to buy. And then dependent on how it functions or reacts to this area, I think it can continue to sell. I don't think there's an entry here yet, unless you can see a really aggressive rejection to this area. But as of right now, I would leave gold alone in terms of entry. If you're in the sell, I would hold it because I don't think it's going to go back up, at least not yet. But if you're not in, I would not try to get in yet. All right. GG. Interesting. All right. Let's take a look at GG. So first things first, let's go overall direction on GG. So GG overall is definitely bullish. Right. Definitely bullish. Right. Cool. On the 4 hour, not bad. It's showing some signs of bullish rejection, but let's keep coming down to just see what's going on. Right. So this tells me that it could be coming for liquidity. Where is the liquidity? Right here. So what I want to see on GG is something that looks like this. That's what I want to see. Why? Because GJ is overall bullish. It's also presently bullish, just leaving this area here. I don't think this is a reversal. I really don't think it's a reversal because, again, there's higher highs that still need to be taken out before GJ actually reverses. So in my opinion, I think that GJ is going to continue to buy. If you can see that rejection off of this, if it could come down into this area and reject enough, I think that this is a pretty safe buy. That's GJ. NAS, I think I don't really trade NAS very often at all, actually. But let's take a look at it here quickly. NAS is synonymous with US30 right now. I do believe maybe, so let me see where the last liquidity would have been. I would probably say here. So I would say for NAS, what I would like to, even though it happened already, what I would like to see maybe is like that. Or actually, you know what? Actually, let me remove this. I'm now looking at something here. What I would actually like to see is, I'm looking at this here. I would like to see, so let me get rid of this one because it already spiked that one. What I'm thinking maybe is maybe something like this. Yeah, that's what I think, because NAS is bearish, so it makes sense that it continue to sell. Just grab some liquidity from the buy direction and then sell. Right, guys, that the GG. Yes, I am a full-time trader. GU. Well, I just got taken out in profit on GU. I'm not interested in anything else. I do believe that it can continue to sell, but not before coming back for some liquidity. But I'm not seeing anything interesting on it as yet. EG, Euro GBP. All right, so Euro GBP is confusing. Euro GBP is confusing because it's somewhat ranging here, then it's bearish here, then it's bullish here. I would be very careful to try to trade this because there are many contradicting ideas here. And I want to ask you a question here. If you don't know where the market, I mean, if the market don't know where it's going, how could you? Think about it. You are trying to take a trade on a market that don't even know where it wants to go. Because 1 minute it consolidating, then it going to bearish momentum, then it back bullish again, then it back bearish again, then it back bullish, then bearish again, then bullish. You see that? That is a problem. That is a big problem. I would leave your GBP alone completely. Right? NZD USD, Jackie Henry, NZD USD. Interesting. Okay, cool. So I would say on the daily, it's definitely bearish. Cool. On the 50 minutes, it's also very much bearish, which means the momentum aligned. And the last area it spiked would have been here, meaning that grab liquidity from here to drop. So the next liquidity would be here. All right, it would be something like this. Now, I don't know, and I wouldn't trade it, but I don't know how it reacts to this area, right? I would be careful of this one. Right, I would really be careful of this one. It is bearish. It does make sense that it might sell, but I'll be careful of this. Let's see here. Maybe it might be showing. Oh, interesting. Let me see here. Oh wow! Whoa, 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 whoa! All right. So here's what. Here's what. Maybe it did spike the area already. Dependent on how this candle closes, maybe you can get an entry even now. I would like to see this candle come down a little more before it closes. Nah, nope. Not yet. So this is actually a live opportunity, right? But we'll wait. So I'll stay here a little while with you guys to monitor it, to see what it's doing. I do think it can sell based on the fact that it rejected this little area here. Maybe it did try to grab liquidity from this area, but it's not sure as of yet. So let's see, right? But the reason why I wouldn't sell this candle yet is because it's still somewhat bullish. I mean, yes, there's a wick to the top side, but it I would say that it's still somewhat bullish based on the fact that the bearish candle actually, I mean, the wick isn't as big as I would like it to be. So I will wait a little while, right? So I mean, if you did sell it here, you would basically have like a zero drawdown entry. That's fine. This is what it is. Oh wow, 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 right? But that's fine. Let's wait to see if we are presented with a better opportunity. Maybe it might be a little lower, but let's see. Let's try it. So this candle's closing now. So now this candle here, so now we're looking at candlestick anatomy, right? And how candles function and how they operate. This candle is actually rejecting the downside a little bit, right? And it's also rejecting this area. So I want to see how price reacts to this area, right? If you actually drag this out, you'd see here that price has rejected this area. So what I would like to see is maybe, just maybe, a break and then drop and then like that. If that does not occur and this candle continues to function like continues to function like this is one of those scenarios where you have to leave it alone. Because here's the thing, what this is telling me now is it's kind of indecisive about what it wants to do. It looks like the bearish momentum is decreasing as well, so that's a very dangerous thing if you're looking for sells. I mean, theoretically, if you're looking for sells, you don't want to see bearish momentum decreasing, you want to see it increasing. You understand? So I wouldn't sell this yet, even though it's a pretty okay sell. All right, where is my, all right, so that candle closed there. I would be a little reluctant to sell it here. All right, I would be a little reluctant to sell it there because it's rejecting an area that I really want it to break. Right, so let's monitor it and see. I'm monitoring it here with you guys. So you're seeing now, right? Cool. It's above this area here. So we're monitoring it. So let me talk, while we're waiting on to see what the candle is doing. All right, let's talk about something really interesting. So you see how it didn't take me very long to analyze all of these different pairs, right? Like literally all, one after the next. You all tell me, take a look at this, I look at it, and literally less than a minute, I finish analyzing it, right? Interestingly enough, you realize that in terms of the entry now, I have to sit and wait. I need to really wait for the opportunity to present itself. Your analysis shouldn't take very long. It is the entry that should take some time, because the entry is based on opportunity, while your analysis is based on your visual and what you are seeing. Does that make sense? So you could literally analyze a trade now. It's 7:50 p.m. my time. You can analyze that trade right now and not find an entry for 3 days, and that is completely normal. And if you don't like that, then yeah, that's a problem. So you see why we wait, right? You see why we say we don't want to sell this candle, because we want to see the break, we want to see the momentum increasing in the bear direction. But as you can see, if I sold this candle, I would be a pip, almost 2 pips of drawdown. Now, that's a okay sign. That's a good sign. I wouldn't sell this candle. That's a good sign, because again, it's a bearish candle that's doing bearish things, right? I would like it to engulf. Would that would be nice, but it doesn't need to, right? Cool. I still want to see it break down really aggressive. I need that breakdown before I get that opportunity. I need that breakdown. Does everybody understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing it? Why I'm making the decision that I'm making? You all understand why I am choosing to treat the market the way I'm treating it? Why I'm choosing to analyze the way I'm analyzing? Everybody understand? I'm using the 1 minute time frame in this case because I really am interested in a very pristine and a precise opportunity, a precise entry. As you can see, even if I sold here, yeah, it might get like a zero drawdown, but as you can see, it's not very far. It didn't run away very far from the entry opportunity. So if this candle closes like, all right, good, that looking fine. I do not want any bullish engulfing candles. That's a problem. If it closes like that, that's a problem. We probably are going to see a big bull move up. So that's a problem. All right, so this candle close. There you go. I would like to see it engulf down. If it doesn't engulf down very soon, probably going to disregard this completely. But anytime it go back up, this opportunity for the sell, you have to wait. And that's something that I know a lot of traders struggle with as well. Because you always feel like, you're missing out. You understand? You feel like you're missing out on the trade if you don't get in. But interestingly enough, if it is, you just stop and wait and just let the market do what you really want it to do, you'll be very, very refreshed to understand and really believe that you're not missing anything. You can only miss when you saw the opportunity and you didn't take it. But not every opportunity is one that you should take. That makes sense? So we waiting here, we waiting. All right. Why did you draw that area in gray? So this area represents the last area where liquidity would have been. Meaning there's a lot, this area price has been in and around this area multiple times. So there's a very high likelihood that price might try to get back to this area again or break it completely because, there's liquidity in that area. What do we mean by liquidity? There's cash on hand, cash in the hand. You understand? In that area. There are a lot of buyers entering, sellers entering, stop losses being hit, take profits being hit, sell limits activating, buy limits, sell stops, buy stops, all kind of thing going on in these areas. So that being said, once you know that let me just say no, once you believe that that's what's going on in these areas, that's a good thing because price typically likes to play off of these areas. It's not a support. It's not, I say this all the time. It is not a support. It is not a resistance, not supply, not demand, not imbalance, balance, this, that, the other. Listen, you can call it what you want to call it. It's liquidity. That is what it is. All right, that is what it is. So this candle just closed again. That's a pretty okay sign. You're seeing the rejection to the top side, but still no entry yet. You need to wait. We need to wait. I want to see that breakdown. I really want to see that breakdown. If I don't get that breakdown, so I want to see it like do this. Break, come back, and then give us the opportunity. So we're watching it. All right, so I'm staying here with you guys for probably another, I would say, 5 minutes or so. And if it doesn't show us anything in 5 minutes, then I'll just close it off and we'll watch it from our own charts. Now, if this candle closes like this, oh wow, if this candle closes like this, it's an okay sign, but it's a little sketchy because of the fact that you still in break this area. So we need to wait, right? That's all of that is good. You realize now that the candles are actually throwing a lot of wicks to the top. but not throwing a lot of wicks to the bottom. You all realize that, right? What is the reasoning for that? What is the reasoning for price throwing wicks to the top but not the bottom? What direction is price rejecting right now? Let me see if you're on the board. What direction is price rejecting? Anybody knows? Nobody? So we got the break. That's a good thing. We get the break. Now we need to get, so it closes in 30 seconds. It needs to stay below this area. It needs to come back and reject this liquidity zone. It's not a break and retest, right? It is this, and this is not a break and I need you to understand that. This is not a break and retest. You realize I am very specific with where it is functioning. All right, so that's good. Bearish momentum is definitely increasing. That's good. You want to see that. You want to see that. That's good, right? It's actually telling us that off of this very zone that I just drew, literally right here in front of you, off of this very zone, it's actually functioning as intended. So that's even better. That is even better. If it can reject this, guess what? Pull out your phone, start to look for the opportunity. But it needs to reject and it needs to showcase that candle in the way that, you can see that it's a bull candle, but it's trying to identify as bearish. Very important. If it does not do that and it breaks back above, we have to disregard this setup. Not displacement. I don't know what that is. Right? Right now, I am literally unlocking my phone because I'm interested. Right? I have to wait. I have to wait to see how it closes. But I'm interested. I am very interested in the sell here. I needed to reject much more aggressive than this. I have 10 seconds. If it does not reject, we disregard it for now. All right, so it's coming back above, telling me that it could be a sign that the sell is not quite ready. Cool, so we leave it alone. So I lock back my phone and I'm good. Meaning no entry. No entry. Lock back my phone. That's how you should operate, my friends. Because I'll tell you this. What a lot of people will do is that from the time they see it break and they see it come back, they say, aha, that is it, a retest. Let me go. That's a problem. Wait for the trade to do what it has to do. Wait for it to do what it has to do. Yeah? Let me make this guy famous since he wants to be famous. Right? Cool. So NZD USD is doing, it's now coming back again. That's a good sign. So we're watching it. Happy, You're happy now, bro? You happy now? You glad? You get it out? Nice. Very good. Now get out my street. Good. So this is a good sign. That's a very good sign. All right. Let's see if it gives us the candle now. Let's see. Let's see. This is actually a strong candle, eh? That tiny little black candle. What that tells me now is there's not a lot of bull momentum. That is very good. That tells me that there's not a lot of bull momentum. That's very good. All right, good. So we're waiting. I don't want to see a big rejection here, a big rejection to the downside. So we're waiting. All right, this candle close 10 seconds. Ah, boy. Respect, my brother, respect. You see that? You see that? That's a problem. That is a problem, right? I need to see this engulf to basically get rid of that. So you're probably saying, but B, you're missing out on the entire move. Why you didn't enter up here? Listen, I rather enter in a place where it follows what I want to see. You understand? That is important. You have to basically make sure what you want to see is doing what it's supposed to do. You understand? That's very important. I did not like entering here, and I am fine with that. All right. So let's wait. Where would I target? That's a good question. So I don't ever target anything per se. I would have a general belief that it might try to get somewhere. Okay, so the daily is not helping. I would say the next area is maybe here. Maybe 0.59, 300. Yeah. Because that's the next area of any kind of real, So you see why we waiting here now. That is a problem. Now, what is this here now? This is bearish rejection. That's a problem. That's a big problem. You see? That's a big problem. You don't want that. And that is why you wait, right? The only thing that can counter this is if this candle rejects the upside and closes right near to this or below it. That's the only thing that could counter this. Anytime it does not do that, I am going to completely disregard this because it's very likely that it's not ready to sell. So this has 20 seconds before it closes. If it does not do that, I'm going to completely disregard this and we leave it alone. And so far, that bearish rejection is very strong. The bullish momentum is coming back in very, very aggressive. I am not sure I trust this yet. Oh. Hey, this is it here. That's it. Sell. That's it. Look at that. It's gone. Gone. I didn't even get a chance to get it. It is what it is. But you see, you all realize that as soon as this candle closes, right? You realize as soon as this candle closes, you remember I literally said it. I literally said it. The only thing that can counter this is it rejects all the way, and then it literally. So I saw not thinking that it's gonna happen. I literally just disregarded completely. But had I had my phone in my hand, I tell you I was going to sell it. But interesting, you all realize how we are monitoring candles to really find the opportunity. This is the exact thing that I've been talking about. This is a trans candle because it's a bullish candle, but it is bearish by nature. Y'all understand that? So for the idiot who said, why I'm in a dirty basement, I literally just moved into my new house 2 days ago. This is my office. I ain't moved nothing in here yet, just my computer. So for the idiot who said that, I really hope that he is where he wants to be in life, right? Because I'm very sure that he can't do what I just did. It is what it is, right? Guys, any questions before we close off? This is a beautiful, beautiful entry. That is a beautiful entry. Exactly what I wanted to see is exactly what happened. But it is what it is. I'm not sure how far I could go, but I would generally target the previous low. Not this. I would target maybe, just maybe, that on the daily. I would target 5.99300. That's where I would target. So yeah, any questions? I hope you guys enjoyed this one. That was whoever said to check NZD USD, good on you, because I would not have paid attention to that otherwise. I really would not have paid attention to it. Actually, this is not bad here, you know. You could probably try to sell it here as well, but I'll be a little careful. But you could probably try to sell it. I'm not going to. My hands are completely tied. I'm not going to because it's a little lower than I would like to sell it. And then the next thing that you have to take into consideration is this. So that's something that you have to watch, right? You have to watch that, right? So yeah, but I'll close it off here. Guys, any questions? Anybody doesn't understand what I did? Anybody has anything that they want to ask? Guys, I have my program as well on sale right now, literally. I have like 60 something % off of it. If it is you're interested, you can contact me directly. All right, Atikata Trading. You all know where I am. You all know where to find me. Yeah, if you have any questions again as well, or you want better clarification on any topic or anything like that, you all know where to find me. Just type in Atikata Trading on Telegram, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Anywhere you think that you can get in contact with me, well, just message me or ask me anything. I'm almost always willing to help once you don't be an idiot like my friend there who got banned just like that. All right, you can literally just type in Atikata Trading and you'll be good to go. Other than that, guys, have a great rest of your week. Have a safe rest of your week. If you're going to be trading, please practice proper stop loss placement and proper risk management. I really hope that you enjoyed this one. It was, I thought it was going to be shorter, but I guess y'all catch me with this NZD USD. Guys, have a really awesome week, and I will see you all next week. Peace out, guys.